Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're in the end game now. This is what everything, I believe, has been about with the struggles at Lucasfilm and the desire to push Star Wars in a completely different direction. It's about rewriting history, DuckTales style.
It's about certain people wanting their version of Star Wars to be Star Wars, is what it's about.
We're going to talk about the High Republic, which I think is a terrible, terrible idea. But they're going to push this. They're making the High Republic into this big, grandiose publishing plan. The only thing I can think of that it reminds me of in the past was Shadows of the Empire.
But at least people cared about Shadows of the Empire.
Exactly. The backlash to this has been pretty severe from a lot of corners of Star Wars fandom. It's like just when Lucasfilm is starting to get people back on board with The Mandalorian and the return of actual proper Luke Skywalker and a lot of nods to fan favorites, now we're going to go back and retcon the past of George Lucas's Star Wars universe.
Yeah, we're going to go back hundreds of years before the movies and everything else so that we can retcon that instead. But we're going to call it the High Republic, as in we're higher than you, elevated. It's not the Star Killer base. It's not a Death Star. It's bigger. It's not the Old Republic. It's the High Republic. It's bigger.
It's woker.
Yeah.
It's the wokest thing ever. We're going to talk about that. And look, I could be proven wrong. It could wind up being pretty okay. But remember, guys, at the end of the day, Disney burned down the expanded universe, the existing expanded universe, to do stuff like this, to retcon Star Wars.
It's not going to be okay, especially when you hear people are saying about it. When you look at that whiteboard we talked about many times, the one that had, diversity and an actual ending. It's right here. Yeah. Authentically lived in, surprise, diversity, actual ending and feelings before relatable characters, sweeping epic, that kind of stuff. Star Wars is not pro-war. It's space and lights. It's not like Star Wars. It's not pro-war, but it's space and lightsaber battles.
Yeah, no single main character, because we can't have anybody getting too attached to like another Luke Skywalker, because we got to move beyond that. We can't just have Luke Skywalker.
And wish list, I love High Republic, Relic Hunters, University, dinosaurs. Representation and diversity.
Yeah, that comes up a lot. We're going to talk about this reimagining, reworking, redesigning of Star Wars by committee with intersectional talking points. This is Star Woke. That's exactly what this is. It's become more and more apparent that that's what this is. And look, I'm not saying it's going to be completely terrible, but just looking at what I've seen so far, I think it's going to be completely terrible. Now, they do have a manga that's been announced.
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. What has been doing so well lately, we've been talking about it, kicking American comics ass, kicking American cartoon shows ass, is manga and anime. Completely dominating. We saw the stuff with Demon Slayer in the movie, and the comic books, and the mangas are kicking comic books ass and all that. So Disney, being Disney, they see this big trend, and they're gonna cash in on that. Like we saw with Instagram, we can't do it ourselves. We'll go get Instagram influencers to show for us. We'll put up walls to get everybody to advertise us for free. Like now TikTok, the one girl had a song about Ratatouille, so they went and brought her to the parks to use her to promote their new, attraction and everything else, because they're trying to do TikTok, but it's going to take them a while, so they're just trying to use everybody else who's doing it. Now we have them coming after manga and anime because they're doing that Vision series with anime studios in Japan, and then they announced this Viz book that is The Edge of Balance, and it's done by this what's her name? Justina Ireland. And she's one of the ones who was in charge of this whole getaway new crossover, whatever they're calling it. Like what they're calling it? They're calling it something like transmedia initiative or whatever they're calling it.
Basically means they're gonna come up with a basic storyline, and it is very much like the Shadows of the Empire, but on a bigger now with more Disney, right? Now with more wokeness, where Shadows of the Empire was a game. It was a comic book series. It was a novel series.
It was a book. It was toy line.
It was toy line. That's what they're doing. They're going to vomit High Republic onto every freaking platform. There's going to be High Republic shit all over the place. We're losing
the audience. And this basically just goes along with that whole two camps Civil War shit. Everybody's going to Favreau and Filoni. They're losing their grip. Star Wars Story Group, who is behind this, by the way.
Hidalgo and friends.
They were at the meetings. They were involved in the whiteboard we showed you. They can't stand it. So they are going to do this High Republic. But the thing is, they're doing it on these platforms that most people aren't going to probably, you know, if it's not a TV or show or a movie, people aren't going to really spend the time for most people to mess with it.
Even, you know, when it comes to Star Wars, even if it's, you know, other time medias like the shows, even though, you know, they consider the cartoon shows, Filoni's cartoon shows canon, people were completely confused. We went to go see Solo with like 3 other people in the theater that weekend. They were completely confused at Darth Maul coming back because they did not realize that Darth Maul came back.
Right, because most people don't watch it if it's, or they aren't reading it. If it's not in the screen that they can see it, they can play it as a game. They don't know about it. So this is not going to do well anyway because they're targeting. Oh my God, they're targeting young adult children's books. Now they're got manga. Now they went and hired a manga artist and a Japanese writer to work with her to make sure it translates. It's going to be authentic Star Wars and authentic manga, they said. As authentic as everything else we've got now, the story group.
Yeah. Now, look, and this is coming from Viz. I don't want to throw shade at Viz. I have a lot of respect for Viz. This is a marketing deal for them, but this is very much like you said, how you do, fellow kids. You know, Disney comes knocking with a bunch of money and says, you're the biggest manga producer out there. Make us some manga. And you're going to say, yes, we will. How much money again?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you're going to. So, you know, it is what it is, but it does kind of smell of Tokyo Pop back in the 2000s where it was like, here's our official sort of kind of Amera manga.
Yeah.
But at least they got the Japanese artists.
They did, but I'm saying they're so desperate for attention. They're so desperate to get it out there that now they're like, what is big? What is winning? It's not us. So what's winning? Oh, manga and anime. So we're going to slap it on that. Yeah. It's like rub some bacon on it, slap some manga on it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's coming around again. I mean, this does feel to me like, you know, the late 2000s all over again, where everything with, and we even had articles on Comic Book Resources. If it's got big eyes and blue hair, it's anime, it's manga. And it's like, no, it's not. But, you know, it's, I guess, a close facsimile, just like the High Republic is a facsimile of Star Wars. Yes,
and when you hear what they want to do with it, it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, so Mick Shork actually has been writing for us, and he put this article up on, you know, this
yeah, I massive, added some stuff too, like that, yeah.
Yeah, massive story told across books, comics, and magazines. Well, cross the comics off, nobody gives a shit. You know, this just sounds like they're trying to justify, one, the story group's existence, because they're probably like, okay, the stuff you guys came up with has not been a big hit. So they're like, we're going to make it too big to fail. We're going to force people.
We're going to go back ahead of when everything is. We can't write the Skywalker saga, so we're going to go back hundreds of years and rewrite everything about the Force then.
Yeah, so that's the thing here. Right? They're gonna, and we saw this. That's why I'm saying this is like the end game. We saw this with Doctor Who too, where the ultimate end game of a lot of people that are ideologically focused coming into existing franchises that have a massive, massive platform. The ultimate goal is to rewrite that property into your own image. We saw it with Star Trek, where they went back in time and redid everything. We saw it with Doctor Who, where they retconned the Doctor to be like, hey man, babies, guess what? Doctor started life as a little black girl. Deal with it.
Yeah, we changed everything.
And now we're going to go back and retcon Star Wars. And I can almost guarantee you this is going to be the wokest stuff you've ever seen. Maybe not the manga, because I think they know their audience, but definitely the YA novels, definitely, you know, all this other stuff. It's gonna be incredibly woke with lots of dinosaurs.
Well, they're saying that it's about a new era. It's about a new era and how they're gonna, you know, change. They're basically changing Star Wars about how they said they're fighting for the Force. Yeah, no shit. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of a metaphor. It's like they're battling over the future of the Force. It's like, it is a metaphor because at this point in Star Wars, it feels like there is a battle in Lucasfilm where you've got Filoni and Favreau being kind of the old guard with more Lucas era, you know, Star Wars giving most fans what they actually want. And then we've got the dueling Star Wars over here with the High Republic, which is a complete almost 180 from The Mandalorian. And again, this is clearly Kathleen Kennedy's baby. Where is she? You don't see her talking up The Mandalorian a whole lot. People are like, well, she was involved. I'm like, yeah, I don't think she was as involved as you think she was. I think she was busy with this. I think she was busy ruining the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
And she was busy, you know, doing all this other stuff, not paying attention to. She basically, I think, left Favreau and Filoni on their own to do this kind of one-off show, and it became the biggest damn things. Now they're going to absolutely ramp up the the attention that's paid to the High Republic. Now, it's been pushed back. It was supposed to come out earlier. They blame COVID. We know that's not true because they rewrote the entire opening crawl.
Yeah.
The original opening crawl was the most painful,
was really bad.
Painful woke thing you've ever.
And it was like really, really long-winded and stuff. It was awful.
Oh my God. It's a period of inequality where diverse voices need to come together to smite the patriarchy. And the patriarchy would be in all caps.
Probably.
We've got authors out there like Charles Soule, who...
it was one of the people that were the core members of this group that was trying to do this, trans, whatever they're calling it, transmedia.
Transmedia. He said he started his job by watching all the movies again and focusing on what he thought was impressive about Star Wars. And then
was meaningful to him. To him.
The job was to make something that was authentically Star Wars from the ground up, also really fresh and new and special and powerful. Because...
better and the bestest ever.
Yep. He would later confirm that he was initially pitched with creating his own Star Wars. So explained, I just started looking at Star Wars and digging in deep and thinking about if I really had this opportunity that Michael described to me to make kind of our own Star Wars, which is what it was and has become. I can't believe it's actually happening.
They basically are admitting to you. They're not doing your Star Wars with more stories. They're making their own Star Wars. And these people are associated with the Star Wars story group.
He concluded, what would this mean to me? I started with the source material and went from there. So yeah, they're literally rewriting the past of Star Wars. They burned down the expanded universe. And they're going off in a totally different direction with it. And it's very, very obvious.
Sorry, what is this, like Han Solo, but it's like Han Soul Patch or something?
This is Leox Gassi.
Yeah, okay.
He looks dandy, doesn't he?
He doesn't look dandy. He looks like someone from a trailer park trying to look cool. Not that I'm offending the trailer parks, but you know what, that's stereotypical.
Yeah. He said, let's see here. To clarify his point, fellow High Republic author Claudia Gray would also answer the question, revealing she looked at other franchises and properties outside of Star Wars.
But if you're supposed to look at Star Wars.
I probably had. It's not the opposite reaction, but it's going to sound like it is. I started asking myself, where are the things I loved in other epic sagas?
Where's the Captain Marvel?
Where's the Captain Marvel? Where's the Game of Thrones? And that's what people said. They said it feels like a mishmash of different science fiction and fantasy series, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars. I love Star Wars, have loved it, and had been writing it for some time and felt like I was immersed in it. But what were the other things that drew me to other media, whether that's Dune? I can see that. I can see that. Dune or Arthurian legends or whatever. What are the big epic qualities that pull you in, or at least pulled me in? That's where I began. Now, George Lucas himself did pull from other stuff.
Right.
Other influences. But I don't think he pulled so much directly from like, I'm going to do a 1-for-1 from this, like transfer. Like, we got to have dinosaurs because I like Jurassic Park. I would like to have space dinosaurs. That sounds like fun. To further emphasize how this is a brand new Star Wars, the High Republic author, Kevin Scott, would describe just how the Jedi operate during the new era.
I heard about this, yeah.
This is the golden age of the Jedi. This is when they're in their height.
Right, because they're above you, because it's like Star Wars, but bigger.
God, and you can go check out these original articles on Bounding in the Comics, by the way, if I didn't mention that. I want to give them credit. But these are peacekeepers who have pretty much done their job well. There's been peace for hundreds of years, and then the patriarchy came. No, I don't know. And the galaxy has entered a period of prosperity and progress, and that's changed the way the Jedi view themselves, view the Force, in some cases even view the laws of the Jedi as well. So we're going to rewrite everything you know about the Force.
Yeah, the laws of the Jedi, the laws of the Force. They're changing it all.
Yep. That's for sure.
It changed the way Jedi operate.
The Jedi are on the out with people. Oh, they're out with people. They're part of life. People are used to seeing them. People love them. So they're celebrities. That gives them a special responsibility to the Jedi. Remember, the High Republic is supposed to be set only 200 years before the Phantom Menace. It's hard to imagine people in the galaxy would have completely forgotten the Jedi in 3 or 4 generations if they were out in the public and had temples on every single planet. That is true. That is true, because they were kind of like low-key, like, oh, I think they're Jedi, but they weren't that common. I mean, Jedi, you had like one Jedi for how many clone troopers, and they made them the generals because they were, but for the most part, like, you probably live your whole life and never see a Jedi, ever.
Yeah.
You know, it's only when this shit hits the fan that you see a Jedi. And people did forget about the Jedi. They did, and even by, the time of the original trilogy, and definitely by the sequel trilogy, because freaking Rey didn't even know who,
It's true, all of it.
Yeah, it's true. Who's Luke Skywalker?
It only happened, like, 20 years ago, whatever, but,
Yeah.
30 years ago.
So look, and I guarantee you they'll find a way to retcon all that too. And I don't think, and again, the story group, to me, strikes me as a bunch of paid fanfic writers. This is fan fiction. This is super woke fan fiction being passed off as authentic Star Wars. George Lucas does not sign off on this. He did not sign off on this. They're going to rewrite his universe and but what are you going to do? Disney paid for it.
Yeah, and guess who's one of the people that are part of the story group and probably down with this? Pablo Hidalgo, who's out there. And then there's been a bunch of people showing that, ironically, that not only were they making fun of people who didn't like the sequel trilogy, I guess they were making fun of Reylos too behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And they make fun of everyone. So, they're making fun of you too.
Yep. Yeah, so I don't know how people are going to react. I mean, really at the end of it, this is interesting. This is on IO9. They said, I want to enjoy this like I did the expanded universe, but knowing it too will just get squashed away whenever the Disney empire marches again to the drums of the capitalist campaign they're waging. Ooh, because that's the thing. They could retcon it again and again and again and again. And they're just looking to throw, I think, spaghetti against the wall to look for something from the books or whatever to make movies out of.
Right, because I'm like, at the end of the day, what are we seeing on screen? Favreau and Filoni stuff. What's this stuff going to? Books and comics. Most people aren't even going to read that. That's what they're trying to leverage manga and anime.
Yeah.
Because they figure they'll get more views that way. But even then, it's not going to be the same thing.
Yeah, I have less than zero interest in this personally. Like I could even care less. I'm like, this, guys, now the mask is off. Now you know what the ultimate goal was. It was to get a hold of Star Wars and rewrite Star Wars in your own image. Just like all these other franchises, just like Doctor Who, just like Star Trek. They want to rewrite Star Wars, the history of Star Wars, but now with more woke. So free market will win out. We'll see if the stuff is good and it resonates with people, then yeah, they might have a long future filled with new books and comics, or they might have a long future sitting collecting dust at Ollie's.
Which happens often, especially Marvel stuff.
It does. So we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.